Hey 7th grade band studs, this is Mr. Lenz. After a long summer or a long break, or sometimes even during the school year, it's easy for us to forget how we count things. So I wanted to provide this video for you just for some counting fundamental reviews so that you know when you're practicing your lesson book and trying to figure out how your concert band music should sound, you know exactly how it should sound, how you can count the rhythms and work your way through it so you don't have to say, Mr. Lenz, how does this go? Can you play it for me? You'll be able to figure it out all on your own, which is pretty cool. It'll also help your sight reading abilities. So we're going to start from square one, review the fundamentals, and this is going to be a flyby course, pretty quick. We'll keep it short and sweet for you here. So, pretty easy fundamentals here. We know that whole notes get 4 counts, right? Half notes get 2 counts, and quarter notes get 1 count. That's like pretty elementary, you know, first few weeks of 5th grade. You guys will remember that stuff, no problem. Just remember that when you have a whole note, that's the whole measure. Half note, that's half the measure. You're going to get 2 counts on that one. And then a quarter note, 1 beat. Okay? So let's move into the next thing. We've got quarter notes. Okay? Quarter notes will get 1 beat each. Okay? And we would count these with the numbers of the beat. That's supposed to be a 3. So 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay? So if you're counting quarter notes, just remember when you're tapping your foot should line up with the beat on each quarter note. 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay? Now, let's throw in 8th notes. You guys remember these? You've had these before. This isn't anything new, but just a refresher. So, draw some 8th notes in here. We'll draw a full measure of 8th notes. That way we can talk about how we count them. So we always count 8th notes with the beat number and then and. Okay, so 1 and, 2 and, 3 and, 4 and. Okay, so since there's 2 notes in each beat, you'll have your foot go down for the downbeat, for the number, and then your foot comes up for the and. So you can line that up physically with what you're counting. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and. So when we put different quarter notes and 8th notes together, it could look like this, where you have quarter, 2/8, quarter, 2/8. Now what do you think the rhythm counting is for this? I'll give you a minute to think about it. Maybe not quite a minute, okay? You probably have the answer already. So it's going to be 1, 2 and, 3, 4 and. Okay, so pretty basic. Another way that you'll see 8th notes in your music would be when you have 4 of them tied together. And this is where sometimes people get a little bit confused because they look like 16th notes, right? 16th notes will have 2 bars over the top like that. 8th notes only have 1 bar over the top, and that's how you can tell the difference between 4 8th notes together and 4 16th notes together. So 4 8th notes together, we still count, well actually I'll let you think about it. Think about how you would count 4 8th notes and then 2 quarter notes. Maybe count it out loud to yourself right now. Okay, now we'll see if your answer is right. So I would count this number, and, right, for 4 8th notes. 1 and 2 and then each of these get 1 beat, so it's going to be 3, 4. Okay? So those are where I see some common misconceptions for counting, just in basic fundamental counting. And this is what's going to help you read your way through the tunes and kind of get reacquainted with things after a long summer of practicing every day, which I'm sure you did, right? Let's just talk about the 16th notes real quickly here, because sometimes we do encounter those. We'll just put it in, well, 2 8th notes, and then we're going to have 4 16th notes. And do you remember how we count 16th notes? What the syllables are? So the 8th notes will be 1 and, right? And then we're going to start beat 2 here. So it's 2, E and Okay, so there's 4 syllables in that beat. 1 and 2 E and a 3, 4 is how we'll count that rhythm. Okay? I'll say that again. I want you to count it with me. Here we go. 1 and 2 E and a 3, 4. Does that make sense? Okay, now let's get a couple examples that you can try on your own. We're going to try 2 of them. Okay, so first of all, I would like you to try and count this on your own. This one will be pretty easy, I think. We're in 4/4 time. Okay, 4 beats in a measure. So, how would you count this rhythm? Maybe count it out loud to yourself. Here's the answer. 1 and 2, 3 and 4. So if we're to count this in time, 1 and 2, 3 and 4. Okay? Count it with me this time. 1 and 2, 3 and 4. Very good. All right, now we're getting the hang of things. Now let's spice it up just a little bit, and we're going to put some 16th notes in there. All right. Now, think about how you would count this one on your own here for just a second. You can pause the video if you need to. Maybe count it out loud to yourself. All right. So, here's the answer. 1 and 2, 3, E, and 4. Okay? So, how about you count it with me this time? I'm going to have a steady beat here. Here we go. 1 and 2, 3, and 4. Okay, so those are using some of the basic counting fundamentals that we've talked about. There will be a part 2 video working on some of the more complicated rhythm combinations, but I wanted to get you some basics to get started here back at the beginning of the year, or if we're partway through the year here and you're like, I forget how to count. This is a good video just to reference, just to kind of remember, oh yeah, that's how I do 8th notes, or that's how I do 16th notes. Let me know if you have any questions. Don't feel, don't hesitate to contact me with any questions during the week. Thanks a lot.